afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. First, I'd like to acknowledge that we're on the traditional territory of the Lekwungen-speaking peoples, including the Songhees and the Esquimalt nations. I'm Michelle Mungal. I'm the Minister for Energy, Mines, and Petroleum Resources. Joining me today is Minister George Heyman, who's the Minister of Environment and Climate Action. I'll introduce these two guys later because we all know who they are. But I want to point out a few people who are in the crowd with us today. We have Blair Quayle, who's the President and CEO of the New Car Dealers Association. We have Carlin Armstrong, President and CEO of Hydrogen Technology and Energy Corporation. Cameron Hicks and Kyle Walker from Tesla Canada. Nicholas Sylvest, District Sales Manager for Hyundai Canada. And we have Bob Pearson with Envirotech, and we've been calling him earlier today our truck guy. So today we have the Premier, Premier John Horgan. On my left. And on my right, we have Green Party leader Andrew Weaver, and they pulled up in an electric vehicle because we're making a very important announcement today. But before I let them do that, I just want to give you a few important facts that you might want to know. That BC has the highest adoption rate for electric vehicles in Canada. We have the largest infrastructure for electric vehicles in Canada. And today, we're going to do even more. So with that, I'm going to pass the mic over to Premier John Horgan.
On your left. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, everyone. It's good to see you here on the traditional territory of the Lekwungen-speaking people as we make a significant announcement about making sure that future generations are able to enjoy the spectacular splendor of British Columbia. We all take care and pride in our home, but increasingly we have to take greater care and pride as the ravages of climate change become readily apparent to all of us. Certainly here in British Columbia, we are not immune to that. And as a born and raised Vancouver Islander, sea rise is one thing that we're obviously thinking about here. But also after 2 consecutive fire seasons that set records in terms of hectares burned, individuals affected, buildings destroyed, it's clear that we are certainly not immune from the changes to our climate, and it is incumbent upon all of us to make sure that we're creating solutions for our planet and our province. Earlier this year, we committed our government to ambitious, achievable goals in legislation to reduce emissions in British Columbia by 40% before 2030, 60% by 2040, and fully 80% by 2050. In the coming weeks, in collaboration with my colleague Andrew Weaver and the Green Caucus, our government will be moving forward with a climate action plan that will support those goals. The first step in this road, or this path, is to make sure that we can do everything we can to increase zero-emission vehicle purchases here in British Columbia in the years ahead. That path forward will be established right across the province, where people live, where they work, and where they travel. There you go. A hallelujah from the corner. Secondly, we're increasing our investment in the provincial incentive program, which we've already increased by 30 million since September, by a full 50% to ensure that we can help people get into clean vehicles today. Finally, we will be reviewing initiatives in other jurisdictions. Many of you will know that the province of Ontario has fallen back on their commitment to zero-emission vehicles, which creates an opportunity of supply for us here in British Columbia, one that has been challenging for many, many British Columbians who want to get into a zero-emission vehicle, but we can't keep pace with the demand. Obviously, the Car Dealers Association of British Columbia will be integral to that. The providers of the vehicles will be integral to that. But most importantly, we need to give citizens the incentives they need to get out of their heavy emission vehicles into low and zero emission vehicles in the years ahead. This is a great first step. I'm very excited to have the opportunity to announce this here today with a whole series of vehicles for all of you to take a look at.